Hello everyone and welcome back to Car Project Central. So today we're working again on the Audi A3. Yeah, there's been a bit of a break, I realize, between the content, and there's a few different reasons for that. First reason was because we found that the oil filter housing, which is this thing here, was actually leaking oil. So we've ordered a new one off eBay and that took a little time to get here. We also had to look at the thermostat as well. So the thermostat sits in there, or used to sit in there. And so we've got that out as well, and I've got a new one to show you. So there's been a few little delays, as well as a few personal issues as well. And also we both work full-time as well, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes to get time to work on the cars. But you know, now we're trying to get these cars finished, and we'll be bringing you more content as well as a result of that. So today I just want to talk to you about this Audi A3. So the main problem is that thermostat and the oil filter housing, which also bolts on to the oil cooler. So this is the oil cooler. This was attached to the front of the oil filter housing, as you can see here. These bits are plastic. So because they're made of plastic, after a few years, they become warped, they get brittle. They have gaskets as well that obviously go bad, so there's lots of reasons why these two components may fail, but I think the main problem is that they are made out of plastic. Now unfortunately you can't get any other parts, you have to just get plastic replacement parts, but they've lasted for over 10 years, so hopefully the plastic replacement parts will also last for 10 years as well. Now you might notice that this engine does not look very similar to when you saw it last, and that is because we've taken all of the top of this engine off. So all of this part of the engine, which is the intake of the engine, has to come out in order for you to even see what's going on under here. So that's a little bit unfortunate. It's the same problem with all 2-litre FSI engines from the VW Audi group. And I'll just quickly show you what we had to remove, and it's a little bit tricky, and it's a little bit ridiculous. So this is the airbox for the car with the air filter inside. We had to remove that. We had to remove the auxiliary belt because we had to move the alternator a little bit as well, just to get access to the thermostat. We had to remove this bracket, which was actually a real big pain because there's a lot of cables that are connected to that. We had to remove this, I think it's an oil catch can. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but that had to go as well. And then that's a little bit off the top of the air intake. And then that's not all though, because if you look back here at the back of the garage, we also had to remove this little engine cover as well. And unfortunately it's not just a cover, there's actually a hose underneath here as well. So you actually have to remove all of that. And what was the real pain was removing this inlet manifold. Now the inlet manifold is actually all made out of plastic as well, and there's only 2 bolts holding the whole entire inlet manifold in. But unfortunately, because there's so many hoses and cables and vacuum lines and, you know, God knows what else, breather hoses, you know, that's very, very complicated actually for a 2-litre FSI engine. We had to remove all of that as well, so that was a bit of a pain in the ass. So here we've got the new oil filter housing. It comes with brand new gaskets as well, as you can see here, so everything's all new. We got this one off eBay. This is not actually a genuine part, this is an aftermarket one, but it looks like it's pretty high quality and it looks pretty much exactly the same. Now I'll just quickly show you, these are some of my new tools as well. Oh, look at that, pretty sexy tools. So I'll just quickly show you what happened to the old thermostat. So this is the old thermostat that was actually only replaced last year in November, so it's only been a few months. But you can see there's lots of goo all over this thermostat, and I think it's because whoever fitted it in decided that the gaskets didn't seal well enough for some reason, and so they've just put in lots and lots of goo just to try and seal it up. But unfortunately this goo isn't even the right goo. It's very, very it's very soft, so it doesn't actually stick to the side of the housing at all, to the thermostat at all. So you can actually really easily just pick it off, and water is definitely going to just, you know, work its way through that, no problem at all. And then it's the same on this side as well. I actually removed a whole bunch, but there's still some goo left over on this side as well. So I'm just going to keep this one for now, just to make sure that I don't throw that away until the car is working. But that's basically what we have to do. I've got the new thermostat right here. So this is actually from Qualitat. Qualitat is the best place to go for your VW Audi independent repairs. Not affiliated with them at all, but they're a really nice bunch of guys, answered a whole bunch of questions for me, and also gave me a pretty good price on the thermostat. So we managed to get the thermostat for around about $200, and then the oil filter housing was around about $200 on eBay as well. Interestingly enough, on eBay, the thermostat is actually more expensive. So we ended up just buying it locally from Qualitat. So definitely do shopping around a little bit, because you might find that some things are just more expensive on eBay for some reason, for some strange reason. Maybe it's because these ones, they break quite often, so there's a really short supply for some reason. But that's what we found. At Qualitat, it was actually a little bit cheaper than on eBay. And also, obviously, it's local. If you have a problem with it, you can just take it right back to the shop. So generally speaking, if it's about the same price locally, then we'll just buy it locally. Because, we're supporting local businesses. It's just easier for us. We get better customer service. If we find it more expensive, then we just buy it on eBay. Generally speaking, we try not to, but sometimes you have to, because in New Zealand, the car part prices can just vary so much. That's probably another topic for a completely different episode. So that's basically our job. I have to still take off the oil filter housing, and then I have to put in the new one. I have drained the oil already. Unfortunately, I didn't take a video of us taking all of this off, but I will link to a forum post that I followed. So you should be able to follow the same steps right up to where I've gotten to right now. And then the rest of it, I will take some videos. Right, so basically what I have to do is I have to remove this hose on the oil filter housing. I have to undo that bolt there. And there's another two bolts. One of them's down here. I can't really show you, but there's one in there. And then there's another one in there as well. So there's only three bolts that you have to undo. And I also have to undo the sensor. I don't actually know what the sensor is, but there's a little sensor down there. And I also have to take out the oil filter and drain the oil from there, because otherwise you're going to just get oil dumped all over there, all over the back of the engine, and you have to clean that up later. So I'm going to do that right now, and then try and take out this oil filter housing. Should be fun. Right, so finally got the oil filter loose. It's in a really awkward position, unfortunately. Very hard to get some leverage. So we're just going to take this off, drain the oil filter, and then we can take off the oil filter housing. Oops. Oh shit. Lovely. Right, so in the middle of trying to remove the oil filter housing, I tried to get rid of this hose and take it off from here. But interestingly enough, it kind of just broke off completely. So it's kind of fused to the oil filter housing. This is actually a bit of the hose. And as soon as you try and take it off, it just breaks. And look at what happened here as well. As soon as you bend it slightly, it also just comes off. So obviously we're going to have to get a new one of those before we put the car back together. Fun. Good old VW Audis. Cool, so the next thing to do is to remove this sensor. I actually really have no idea what the sensor does. I think it's probably like a oil temperature sensor or something like that. So we're just going to take this out. And then we'll just have to undo the bolts. And we should be able to get the oil filter housing out. Just removing the easiest of the bolts, which is the top one up here. So there's three that hold the oil filter housing in place. So just go ahead and remove that. I've got to do that one by hand from here. They're quite long actually. And the kit doesn't come with any bolts, so don't throw these away. We'll be reusing those. Yep, there we go. So that's what you'll be removing, and there's two more to go. Yeah, so the last bolt is definitely the one that's hardest to get to, and that's this one on the right bottom corner here. So I recommend that you just put your extension and the hex bit in first, and then you put your spanner on once you've got your extension and your hex in, and then you're making sure that you are actually undoing the bolt, because you can't really see it, so you just got to do it by feel, unfortunately, and then you should be able to get that out. So I've already loosened that. I just need to do the rest of it by hand and get it out. Alright, so that's the fourth and final bolt out. So this is going to be the moment of truth when we actually take out the oil filter housing. Yeah, look at that. Awesome. And that feels good because it's taken a lot of time to get up to this stage. So that's what it looks like in there. Actually, I have no idea what that plastic bit is. That's interesting. Okay. And you can see there's a whole bunch of oil and other crap down there as well. So we're going to clean that all up, install a new oil filter housing, and that's what the old one looks like. Oh yeah, you can see a bit of oil. There's a bit of residue from the bottom of the oil filter housing, so there's definitely something wrong there, I think. Yeah, you can see some of that down there at the bottom. So that's probably why it was leaking oil everywhere, because there's really not much else to leak oil down here. So hopefully we'll replace that, and it should all be fine again. Alright everyone, so we've got this new oil filter housing, and I've already checked that it's actually got a new filter in there already, so we don't need to reuse the old filter anyway. And what I've done is I've just greased the gasket that goes around the filter housing. So this is on the side of the engine, and you just use some brand new engine oil to grease it and make sure that it makes a nice seal, and then it'll be ready to go back in. So that's where it's going to go. Right, so we're going to put these bolts back in. I'm going to put some Loctite in there as well, some thread locker, because by the looks of things they came with some thread locker, and it's probably a good idea because otherwise the bolts might shake loose and you'll get oil everywhere. Right, so I've gone to Qualitat this morning and I've got the new breather hose. So you can see the old one, it's all cracked around here, and also this part didn't come off of the oil filter housing anyway. It was kind of just fused on there because it's all plastic. So we're going to put that in, and that's going to go right over here. You can see it goes from the top of the engine right down to the oil filter housing, and that means we can put the rest of the car back together. Alright, we've got the new breather hose on there now, and it's looking a lot better than the old one, that's for sure. So that connects to the top of the oil filter housing, and now we just need to put back on the oil cooler. So that just goes at the front right there, and then we can start putting the rest of this back together. So you just want to put a little bit of oil again around the gasket, just to make sure it seals, and do not forget to plug in this oil pressure sensor. I actually found out it's an oil pressure sensor, so make sure you plug that in, and then you can put the oil cooler back in. So there's two bolts for the oil cooler at the top of the cooler, which are really easy to get to, and then there's two bolts at the bottom, which are much harder. So you have to kind of go around the oil filter housing and go from the bottom of the car. But yeah, that's basically how you do it up. So we're just putting this bracket back in at the moment. I would definitely recommend taking this bracket out before you try and take out the oil cooler and the oil filter housing. So just try and put everything back in the order that you took it out, because otherwise you run into issues. It is a little bit tricky, the clearance is not great, but it definitely goes out, so it should go back in. And the trickiest part of this whole thing is probably going to be figuring out where all these clamps and hoses actually go on the bracket. Alright, so we're just putting the thermostat in as well. We had to replace the thermostat because the car is overheating, and we think that the thermostat isn't working properly. Plus we found that the thermostat was installed with a whole lot of goo around the hoses and the connectors. So we've cleaned it all up, and now we're just putting the thermostat back in as well. It's definitely a good time to look at your thermostat when you've got all of this front of the engine off, because otherwise it is very difficult to have a look and see what's going on there. Just be careful with the bolt, the two bolts holding on the thermostat. We actually dropped one all the way down the bottom into one of these engine holes. I don't know why there's a hole down there, but it's pretty bad. It took us ages to get it out, so try not to drop your bolts. Alright, so we've put the thermostat back in. That's it right there. We've connected the top hose, the hard line in the middle there, and also the bottom hose. With the bottom hose, you want to put the clip in before you connect the hose, because otherwise it's really hard to put the clip back in. But obviously don't make it in the tight position, just make it in the loose, just put it in the loose position. So what we're doing now is we're just putting the car back together, just putting the alternator back in place, and then putting the rest of the intake system back in place as well. So just follow the link that I'm going to post in the description. That basically tells you how to remove all of the top of this engine, and also the reinstall process is just the opposite of the removal process. A bit of a tip here, the bracket that you see here, that is really difficult to get in and out, so just be patient and take some photos before you take it out, because then you can see where all the hoses and where all the lines and all the cables are supposed to go, because it holds a whole bunch of the different lines and cables in place. So just try and take some videos or try and take some photos, and you should be all good. So that's how you change the thermostat and the oil filter housing on an Audi A3. Catch you next time.